Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Jaya Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Raja Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Raja Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Girivaradhare Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Jaya Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana, Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana, Jaya Yasoda. Jaya Braja Jana, Jaya Yamuna Chirabana Chare, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Jaya Yamuna Chirabana Chare, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Yamuna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitago Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Jayam Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Sutra Satasi Shimadi. His Divine Grace is Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Sutra Satasi Shimadi. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. His Confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Grantara Shmeva Gotam Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nitai Gopimanandi. All glory to the assembly devotees. All glory to the assembly devotees. All glory to the assembly devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru Gaurangaja. Narayana Namaskritya Narayana Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Nudiraye Nasta Parayeswa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki Vede Ramane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Hadavadyan Chamadi Cha Hari Sabachakiyate Mokam Karoti Bhajanam Prangu Langarate Girim Yakipataham Vande Sri Guridinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Prajita Kadavota Paramoni Masham Satan Vedan Vastavam Atavastu Shibadantavatayo Mulanan Shima Bhagavate Mahamani Kitinki Vai Para Ishvara Sadhu Uridi Abadudi Trakit Pitaki Shanam Nigama Kapatalu Kalitan Falam Suka Muka Davasambutan Pibatam Bhakutam Rasamalaya Maura Urasika Bhavibabuka Yashava Yashamanayan Krishna Parama Purushe Bhakti Uttabade Punsa Sukha Moa Bhayapa Atoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Vininaya Bhayati Pasaruposho Pidata Paribimita Savabediti Asanam Saram Saram Paribimita Savavedantam Saram He Shibhaktam Visyate Tarasmita Shati Ptasya Nayatya Rati Kochi Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandana Yacha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kasachanuramadanam Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bhante Jagaguru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nibisesa Sunyavari Pashatya Dishatarine Panchaka Patarubhya Sakapasuni Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanabi Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. We are chapter 2. Today is 6:22. What is that? This is the chapter about Maharaj Nimi, who meets the Navayogendras. It's a very, very long purport. Very, very long. But I will read some of it and then give some commentary on that. It's like more than almost about 5 pages of purports. Actually, this edition of Bhagavatam, it was 11th canto. This was first released in 1982. It was the first one after Srila Prabhupada's 10th canto, which finished at chapter 13 of the 10th canto. And this was released in 1982. And that time, there was, it's by the BBT proper disciples. And so many purport. Every verse was giving long purports. So devotees complain about that. And then after second volume, then they stop giving purports. Only verses. So today, text 22, about Navayogendra. Ta ete bhagavad rupam Vishwan sadasadatmakam Atmano vyatire kena Pashyanto vyacharam mahim Ta ete bhagavad rupam Vishwan sadasadatmakam Atmano vyatire kena Pashyato vyacharam mahim Taete bhagavan rupam Vishwan sadasadatmakam Atmano vyatirekena Pashyato vyacharan mahim. You can. Somebody else? Messages, ladies. These 9 Yogendras, Bhagavat of the Supreme Lord, Rupam, a form, Vishwan, the entire universe, Sarasat Atmakam, consisting of both gross and subtle objects, Atmana, from the self, Avyatirikena, as non-different, Pashanta, seeing, Vyacharam, they wandered, Mahim, the earth. Translation and purport by BBT, Disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Do you need the purport? These sages wandered the earth, seeing the entire universe with all its gross and subtle objects as a manifestation of the Supreme Lord and as non-different from the self. Purport. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, it is clearly demonstrated in this sloka and the following verse that the 9 saintly sons of Rishabhadev, known as the Navayogendras, were situated in the highest stage of spiritual perfection called Paramahansa Charitam, or having fully developed the character of Paramahansas. In other words, they were pure devotees of the Lord. According to Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami, the words Atmano Vyatirikena indicate that the 9 sages saw the universe as being non-different from themselves, as well as non-different from the Supreme Lord Krishna. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has additionally commented, Atmanam Paramatmana Saksha Avyatirikinam Visvasya Taj Shakti Mayatvariti Bhavaha. Atmana indicates the Supreme Soul, the universe. This universe is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, since the entire universe is composed of his energy. Although it is stated here that the cosmic manifestation is non-different from both the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not think that either the living entity or the Supreme Lord is material. A Vedic aphorism states, Ashango Yayam Purushaha. The living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead have nothing to do with the material world. Furthermore, Bhagavad Gita says that the entire universe, consisting of 8 gross and subtle elements, constitutes the Bina Prakriti or Apara Prakriti, the separated inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna clearly states in the Bhagavad Gita that he has eternally established his own abode in the kingdom of God, where life is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and that the living entity, being part and parcel of God, is also eternal. Mamaiva so jiva loke, jiva bhota sanatana. Furthermore, once having gone to that eternal abode of the Lord, the living entity never returns to this temporary manifestation. Yam prapya nanivatante tadama paramamama. One may therefore ask why the living entity and the Supreme Lord are stated to be non-different from the material universe. The question is very nicely answered by Srila Nadamuni in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 1.5.20. Idam is Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetaro Yato Jagat Sthana Niroda Sambhava. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is himself this cosmos, and still is aloof from it. From him only as this cosmic manifestation emanated, in him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Commenting on Narada's statement, Srila Prabhupada has very nicely explained this delicate philosophical point. Quote, for a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Sri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole cosmic creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahman, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the parts and parcel, hands and legs are called the body, but the body as a whole unit is neither the arms nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty. And thus, the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, full of knowledge, and beautiful also. According to the Vedic version, the Lord is naturally fully powerful, and thus his supreme energies are always perfect and identical with him. Both the spiritual and the material skies and their paraphernalia are emanations of the internal and external energies of the Lord. External energy is comparatively inferior, whereas the internal potency is superior. The superior energies is living force, and therefore she is completely identical with the Lord. But the external energy, being inert, is partially identical, but both the energies are neither equal to nor greater than the Lord, who is the generator of all energies. Such energies are always under his control, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. The human being and all other living beings are products of his internal energies. Thus, the living being is also identical with the Lord, but is never equal or superior to the personality of Godhead. I just remember my paragraph. Srila Prabhupada has clearly explained here that both the cosmic manifestation and the living entities are emanations from the Supreme Lord, as confirmed both in Vedanta Sutra and in the opening statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, Jamadhyā Shayata. The absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. Similarly, the Upanishad states, Om Punam Adapunam Edam, Punat Punam Udachate, Punasya Punam Adaya, Punam Ibavasishite. The Supreme Lord, the absolute truth, is Punam, or complete in himself, and since this cosmic world is a manifestation of his potency, it also appears to be Punam. In other words, because this material world is an emanation from the Supreme Lord, it is non-different from him, exactly as the sun's rays are non-different from the sun globe, which is the source of their emanation. Similarly, the living beings, who are expansions of the superior or conscious energy of the Supreme Lord, are also non-different from Krishna, although this non-difference is qualitative and not quantitative. The gold found in golden ornaments, such as rings and bracelets, is qualitatively identical with the gold in the mine. But the gold in the mine is quantitatively far superior to the tiny quantity of gold in the bracelet or ring. Similarly, although we are qualitatively one with God, being spiritual emanations of his unlimited potency, we are quantitatively infinitesimal and eternally subordinate to his supreme power. Therefore, the Lord is called Vibhu, or infinite power, potent, and we are Anu, or infinitesimal and dependent. This is further confirmed in the Vedic literature by the statement Nityanityanam Chetanam Eko Bhavana Yod Vedadatikam from Katha Upanishad 2:2-13. There are innumerable and eternal living entities who are eternally and totally dependent upon the supreme singular living entity, the Supreme Lord. That dependence is not an illusion created by material existence, as stated by the impersonalist philosophers, but it's an eternal relationship in which the Lord is eternally superior and we are eternally inferior. The Lord is eternally independent and we are eternally dependent. The Lord is eternally absolute in himself and we are eternally relative to his supreme personality. So it's a long purport. There's another 2 pages or so. So this is a very important verse describing the vision of the Navayogendras, Taite Bhagavat Rupam, Vishwan Sadat Atmakam, Sad Asad Atmakam, Atmano Vyachari Kina, Pashanto Vyacharan Mahim. So the sages, Navayogendra, so they saw the entire universe composed of growth and sorrow manifestations, cause and effect, temporary and eternal objects as a form of the Supreme Lord. Seeing everything as not different from the Lord, from the Supreme Self, so they wandered freely upon the earth. So they wander because they see everything as basically situated within the Lord, both eternal and temporary objects. So what is that? Taite Bhagavad Rupam. Vishwan, Sat Asa Atma, everything. It doesn't matter temporary or permanent object. They see all as the form of the Lord. Bhagavad Rupam. Now, of course, this we have to try to understand this concept that seeing everything as the form of God. Does that mean that everything is God? In one sense, yes, everything is God because everything is situated within the Lord, but at the same time, everything is not God. And that's the Sri Chaitanya Prabhu's philosophy is Achintya Beda Abeda. Achintya Beda Abeda Tatwan. Everything is simultaneously one but different. Because everything is composed of the Lord's energy, both material and spiritual, the emanation of his energy, so which means they're identical with them, but at the same time, it's different. So now there are many, many verses which I've compiled here to substantiate these words. So the Navayogendras, they were part of the sons of Lord Rishabhadev, which we read in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. So Lord Rishabhadev, he had 100 sons. And then before he departed, so he gave instructions to all his sons. Some of them became great kings. And then from that, we have the Bharat Maharaj. Very, very nice story of King Bharat was there. And then the 9 of them became the great yogis, the great Navayogendras. So they attained great self-realization, and because of this, so they were wandering all over the world, which means they did not see the world as ordinary people see the world. Normally in this world, we see the world, especially the conditioned souls, we see the world as object of sense gratification. You know, we see the world, this is meant for our enjoyment. Everything I see is meant for my enjoyment. And of course, that is the how we become bound in the material world. Because we see conditions, so see everything as meant for them to be enjoyed. But the devotees, a self-realized person, sees everything in the world as meant for Krishna's enjoyment. So devotees do not necessarily renounce the world. Because everything belongs to Krishna, so what can you renounce if you all belong to Krishna? You want to renounce Krishna? Everything belongs to him. But devotees utilizes everything for the service of Krishna. That is the difference. So the Navayogendra, they saw the universe as Bhagavad Rupam, as the essential form of the Lord, the form, the energy. They see this as a manifestation of Bhagavan, the manifestation of the Supreme Lord. So in the word for word meaning here, Ta'ete, which means these great personalities, this Navayogendra, Bhagavad Rupam, see everything as the form of the Lord. the form of the supreme personality of Godhead, which means the vision, the entire universe. Sarasat Atmakam, consisting of growth and sorrow, cause and effect, manifest and unmanifest, temporary and eternal aspects. Atmana, a form of the supreme Lord from the Lord, which means it's emanation from the Lord. Aviatre Keina as non-different, inseparable, not existing independently. Pashatan, they see everything. Pashatan, see. Vyachara. So now, in the later, there are about 3 chapters whereby the Navayogendras, whereby they were instructing the King Nini. There they describe the different types of devotees. So specifically, they describe the vision of a Bhagavat, the Mahabhagavat, the topmost devotee of the Lord, his vision. His vision is that Mahabhagavat, he sees everything. He sees Krishna in everything. He says all living entities are belonging to Krishna. He does not see the difference. So therefore, he also sees everyone as servant of Krishna. Everyone as ready service of Krishna. So this is the vision. So therefore, and then he offer respect to all living entities. And that's why he says that because a Mahabhagavat, he sees the equality of all beings. He sees everything as being related to Krishna. So it's difficult to preach when you're a Mahabhagavat. Difficult to preach. Because in order to preach, you have to be able to determine who is devotee and who is not a devotee, and who is innocent, who is demoniac. You have to be able to differentiate. But a Mahabhagavat does not make such differentiation. Just like as we, in this verse, he said, Taiti Bhagavat Propan, he sees everything as simply the form of the Lord. So a Mahabhagavat cannot preach. So in order to preach, then he has to come down to the Madhyam platform. So only a Madhya Bhakta can preach Krishna consciousness, because he can see the fellow devotees, whereby he makes friendship with them. He can see the innocent, the ordinary jivas who are simply, being embroiled in the, in the manipulations of Maya. And then, of course, he sees the Supreme Lord, so he renders service to the Supreme Lord. And then those who are demoniac, those who are envious, he avoids them. So a Madhyam devotee is one who preaches Krishna consciousness, whereas a Mahabhagavat cannot preach. And also a Kanistha also cannot preach, but a Kanistha devotee, he thinks himself to be the only devotees. He doesn't see everybody, he does not recognize everybody else. So therefore, among the 3 classes of devotees, the Madhyam devotees is the one that preaches. So the universe being the form of the Lord, this does not mean that every object is independently God. That every object is independently God. That's not the meaning. Rather, everything is the Lord's energy. And everything rests upon him. Everything is pervaded by him and has no existence separate from him. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, he said, Maya tatam idam savam jagat adakta mutina matstani sabhutani nachahanteshu avastita. So the Lord was saying that by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. What is that? Master Savabhutani, Nachaham Tishava. So which means everything is in Krishna, but Krishna is not in everything. This is very deep philosophy here. Everything is in Krishna because everything is Krishna's energy. Nito Nichana, Chetana about what's that? Nito Nichana, Chetana about that. Eka Bhavana, Yavidati Kama, very, very wonderful from the Upanishad. That from that energy, everything emanates from that energy. Unlimited energies is coming from that one source. Eko from Eka, and then Bhavana means everything that's coming from that one source. So that is the supreme potency of Lord Krishna. So the Lord said, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded, but everything is in me, but I am not in them. So Krishna is separate. Krishna is separate from everything, even though everything is in him. And then, again in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Mata paratara ananyat, kinchil astid ananjaya, Maya savam idam proktam, sutre maniganaiva. There is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on the thread. So Krishna said there is no truth superior to him. So the thread is hidden, but it holds the necklace together. So similarly, the Lord is not visible to the material eye, but he sustains all existence. We cannot see God, but that doesn't mean God does not exist. We cannot see God, but by his energy, everything is going on. Everything is, this science is there throughout Bhagavad Gita, this science. And Krishna is proving himself again and again to Arjuna that see me in everything. Krishna telling Arjuna that. So set aside the seen and the unseen world. Sadashan Atmakam, which means Sat, this manifest effect, Asat, the unmanifest cause, Sat, the sorrow or causal condition, Asat, the temporary visible manifestation, Sat, eternal spiritual reality, Asat, temporary material appearance, Sat, gross elements, and Asat, sorrow elements such as mind, intelligence, and ego. Now, we find that the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, they see the world as illusion. They see the world as non-existence. That we see the world because due to our illusion, our illusory, due to the covering of Maya. So the Mayavadis, they said that Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satyam. Jagat Mithya means this world is all illusory. It's all illusion, this world. So which means they don't understand the fact that yes, this world is there, but this world exists because of the creation of the Supreme Lord. Everything is coming from the Lord. Krishna said, Aham Savasya Prabhu, Mata Sava Prabhata. Everything is coming from me. I'm the origin of everything. So the impersonalists, they see the world as mithya, as illusion, that once you become liberated, then you come to this point, and then that the only truth is Brahman, the spirit. But this is not a vision of the devotees, that both material and spiritual, they are eternal energy of the Lord. Now, material and spiritual, material energy is also eternal energy. It's not temporary energy. because it's coming from the lost energy. But the manifestation of it is temporary. Sometimes it's manifest and sometimes become unmanifest. Just like when you read the Prabhupada's introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, so Prabhupada was mentioning of how, of all the 5 items, of all these 5 subjects which Bhagavad Gita is dealing with, which means Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma, 5 subjects in the Bhagavad Gita. Of all those 5 subjects, 4 of them are eternal. Only one is temporary. Actually, 4 of them is eternal because it's connected with the lost energy. And Krishna's energy is all eternal, not temporary. Whereas the karmic reactions of the living entities is what is temporary, because that karmic reaction is based on the activities that living entities perform, and that activity will determine their next destination. So the also in the Upanishad is mentioned Ishvara Shanidhan Savan Yakincha Jagacha Jagat. So everything animate or inanimate is controlled and owned by the Lord. So which means the proper vision is not to reject the world as, it's not to see the world as meaningless, not to exploit it for self gratification, but to see it as belonging to the Lord and to use everything in His service. So devotees of the Lord don't see the world as meaningless, they don't see the world as illusion, but they see the world as real. It's a real manifestation. They see it, but they don't see the world as meant for their object of sense enjoyment, but they see the world as meant for the service of Krishna. So everything devotee sees in the material world, he simply sees it as an opportunity to render service to Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna said, Yo man pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tashyatan na panasyata sa cha me panasyat. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So this verse corresponds to the verse which we are reading today. So because the ordinary person, they see the world, ordinary persons see the world but forget God. Jnani sees the world and tries to negate it. A Jnani sees the world, no, this world is simply meant to entrap us. So therefore, they have this neti philosophy. Neti means not this, not that, not this, not that. So the process of negation, this neti process. But devotee sees the world and remembers Krishna. Is there anything we can see that does not remind us of Krishna? Everything we see reminds us of Krishna, because everything is composed of His energy. So the Navayogendras, this is their understanding. They have this complete Bhagavad vision that everything is made of the lost energy. So therefore, and because of this, they are detached from everything. They are detached in the sense of trying to see the world as meant for their enjoyment. They are detached from that. So which means they've actually attained freedom. They've attained freedom. The freedom, trying to think that the world is meant for their enjoyment. So therefore, they wander the earth. They're walking all over the universe, totally free. All over and by seeing everything as being connected with the Lord, so they have great relishment. they have great relishment, which means they are experiencing Brahma Sukham, spiritual happiness. So you get Brahma Sukham, spiritual happiness, when you know that yes, everything belongs to Krishna, and then when you engage everything in the service of Krishna, you become a happy person. No more suffering, no more anxiety when you see Krishna, when you see that everything belongs to Krishna. You take something and then you go and offer it to Krishna Balaram, you become a happy person. Great relishment is there. Whereas if you simply take something, this is all for your own enjoyment, there's always mix, happiness or distress is always there. The mix of happiness, the mix of distress is always there in this world. So, what is devotees? A pure devotee's vision. Sarvabhute suya pashet bhavanatmanam bhutani bhagavatatmani esa bhagavatotamam. This is a pure devotee's system. The most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything is eternally situated within him. So the Navayogendras, they are Bhagavat Uttamas, pure devotees. So they see everything according to bodily designations, men, women, rich, poor, learned, unlearned, friend, enemy. They saw everything as being related to Krishna. So this vision, this equanimity, this vision, what does it do? It produces humility, compassion, detachment, and fearlessness. When one have this equal vision, this is the result, the result of that. So again, we should understand again that this Bhagavad Rupam, this temporary or eternal manifestation, has been the form of God. So that does not, this is not a Mayavad vision, but a Bhagavad vision, the vision of the pure devotees of the Lord. So, and then in the Bhagavatam also, in the first canto, he says, Vadanti tato Vedas, tato yagyana advayam, brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavan iti sabdyate. This verse is from the Bhagavad first canto, chapter 2, Vadanti tato Vedas, tato yagyana advayam, brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavan iti sabdyate. That learned transcendentalists describe the non-dual absolute as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Actually, this verse is the basis of Paramatma Sandarbha. Is Paramatma Sandarbha? No, it's Bhagavad Sandarbha. This verse is the basis of Bhagavad Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami. The whole Sandarbha is based on this one verse only, of how to see the Lord. The Lord is Advayam, is non-dual. The absolute truth is non-dual, but the non-dual truth is fully realized as Bhagavan. The universe exists by its energy. The Paramatma pervades all things, and Brahman is its effulgence, but Bhagavan remains the supreme source. So as Krishna says, Aham Savasya Prabhavo, Matapava Prabhatate, Iti Matabhajantema Buddha Bhava Samamvita. That everything material and spiritual is coming from me. It's all emanation from me. And devotees who understand this, Iti Matabhajantema, those who understand this, what did they do? They engage in my loving devotional service. They engage in my loving devotional service. Those who have this understanding. So there's a much more which could be explained on this verse, and we don't have so much time. And of course, there's so much more purport that there's about 2 more pages which has been written on this text. But we don't have so much time. So, if there's any question or comment, you can please. If anybody want to ask something, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
If this world is temporary and perishable, how can it be described as form of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavat Rupam?
Yes, Sat means, Asat means temporary. Yeah, perishable. Yeah, the perishable nature can be described in terms of because this material world is not meant for eternal. It exists for a particular purpose. It simply exists for to nurture the desire of the living entities who are opposed to Krishna. This material world exists. So the manifestation of it is temporary. As there's creation, and then there's destruction, and then there's another creation. So this goes on. He said, "Bhuta bhuta paliyate." It goes on eternally. But being temporary does not mean that it is devoid of the lost energy. Because the existence of it is because the source is the lost energy. But as they say, Krishna said in the chapter 7 of the Gita, he said, what is that? When we describe the second verse, Bina Prakriti Astada, he said, Aparayam Utastrans, he said, this Apara Prakriti, the separated energy is called Apara, and then there is a para Prakriti, the one is permanent and one is temporary. So, but the Lord said, it's all my energy, both the temporary energy, both material and spiritual, it's all my energy. But so in one sense, both are absolute, both spiritual and material. But when one is in material consciousness, one is bound in the material world. But when one is in the spiritual consciousness, one is liberated, one is a devotee. So devotee do not see the material world as simply something that is separate from God or something that is meant for their enjoyment. But they see the material world as part of the Lord's arrangement in order to engage in a service. So, the exploration of this has been mentioned in this purport. And also when you read Bhagavad Sandarbha, many of these points are also explained in the Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. Kind of complex matter. But Mayavadis, they say that Brahma Satya, what is it, Jagan Mitya? But we are not Mayavadis. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mitya. Jagan Mitya, because it's temporary manifestation, but that does not negate its existence. It exists. You always exist. But sometimes it manifests, and sometimes it's not manifest. That's what we have to understand. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So like you said, just only Madhyamadikari can preach.
Yeah.
It's truth, but still into little more clarification on that. Like Mahaprabhu was asked that devotee from the Bengal, how will Mahaprabhu was tell them to serve the Vaishnavas. So they asked, how will recognize the Vaishnavas? So Mahaprabhu first year is give the answer, Ekbar Jarmukhe Aiche Krishna Nam. Who chant once Krishna's name is Vaishnavas, so you should serve him. Then next year, same devotees ask same question. The Mahaprabhu give answer, the Nirantar Jarmukhe, always chant Krishna's name is Vaishnavas, you should serve him.
Yeah.
Then third year, they ask same question, how will recognize to Vaishnava? Mahaprabhu give answer, Jare dekile mukhe aiche Krishna Nam. As soon as you see someone, Krishna's name come to your mouth.
Yeah.
So is that not this Uttam Bhaktas, is it not preaching and what?
Well, same Mahaprabhu was talking, the inhabitant of Kulinagram, they were asking the question. Mahaprabhu was talking to Madhyam Vaishnavas, those devotees, because the person who sees the first class Vaishnava, second class Vaishnava, and third class Vaishnava. Normally, a Madhyam says that. And the instruction is that, of course, any Vaishnava should be respectfully served, should be offered obeisances. But there's a difference between the obeisances that you offer to a Kanishta, because you see him as a devotee of Krishna, because he chants the Lord's name. So a Kanishta is seen differently, whereas a Madhyam is seen differently, whereas Mahabhagavat, totally different. So, yeah, it's completely correct that there's no conflict. There's no conflict. Because that's the vision of a Madhyam. Because the preaching platform is from the Madhyam platform. Because only from Madhyam platform can one see the difference. Whereas a Kanishta person cannot see Kanishta see himself as the only devotee. He has no respect for others. He doesn't see others as devotee. He thinks that himself is the devotee. And everybody else, I'm sure you know this. Whereas in Mahabhagavat, he sees everyone as devotee except himself. Because he fully absorbed in Krishna Bhajan. So that's the way Bhagavatam is, and our acharyas, they have given that explanation that way, in terms of those who can preach. The Mahabhagavat, they have to come down to preach. So the Prabhupada was in Mahabhagavat, he was absorbed in Bhajan and Vrindavan, but to preach, he saw the whole universe as suffering. He saw the world suffering, so his heart cannot bear the suffering condition of the living entity. So he goes out and preach. He has to come down and then go and preach. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Okay. I know this understanding is very, very deep. We can explore on and on and on and on and on. So, anyway, thank you very much for listening. Grant Rashma Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gopi Manande, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,